confusing me mentally. But we're not done writing the whole thing yet, like you might be edited later on, so just bear with us.
When I was little, purple was my favorite color. I was amazed what red and blue could do. They would sit side by side on top of each other until they could no longer resist the move. They would slide into each other and make 1 + 1 = 1. It was awful, but the purple on my face doesn't look so pretty now. It's awful.
What, so it's my fault? I mean, I love purple too. In fact, one of 4 brothers do, or at least they used to. I love pink. Yeah, I said it, pink. But pink too can turn purple in the way that you think has been engraved by your slander, tattooed with no ink. Don't you think I hurt too? I hurt you. This is reciprocity. A relationship is not ferocity, but your words, like monstrosity, cause my mind to form animosity towards you. So I take my anger out on you. I listen to the acapella of your words, causing me to beat symphonies of I love you.
Your symphonies are accompanied with a you, followed by an arrangement of I'm sorry. How can one come after the other when they're so different? Apologies, beautifully orchestrated to sound so pretty and not like what they are. Empty promises waiting to be broken, with another bruise that forms another scar. Are you painting a picture? Am I your canvas? Be careful, your hands are running too rampant. You're getting careless, making very visible marks of territory and hatred, not passion or art. The red is running along my skin instead of inside my veins. The blue is plastered on my back instead of glimmering in my eyes. And the purple, well, it's everywhere. Every tear of my flesh is another one of my self-worth, my self-confidence. Every time it happens, a bell rings from my self-conscience. It screams at me to leave and be stronger than this, but I've loved you much longer than this has been happening. You are my Da Vinci, and I am your Mona Lisa. Maybe the strokes are because you love me. Maybe you mean it when you say that's why I beat you.
I'm the bad guy, right? Well, tell me, who is more sick? The one who continuously shoots someone in the heart, or the one that just stands there and listens?
I don't wear a bulletproof vest. When you give someone you wholeheartedly, there's hardly room for protection from the deception that can occur, the misperception that they won't shoot you even though they can. I stood in front of you, arms spread wide, giving you the option. And when I expected you wouldn't, you shot me while I was watching. The same stare we held when we first said I love you is the same one exchanged when you pulled the trigger. They tell you to be careful and trust no one, but this outcome I would have never figured. You left me here battered, bruised, and disfigured. You told me my body was God's greatest creation. Your words were a whisper, but your actions proved louder. I spoke some unkind things, but there was no reason for you to cower behind your obvious physical superiority. You took advantage of my disadvantage, which landed me here looking like my favorite color.
Your words punctually punctuate the pink I think I call the brain. So when you continuously shoot me in the head, it's difficult for me to maintain my sanity. Every time you speak, I hold my breath, anticipating the death of my lungs. You shot me in my pulmonary vein. And though you can't see it physically, mentally, I'm in pain. But no Band-Aid can suppress the scars marked up on my brain. Oblivious to the facts, so you act, causing me to lack air as you strangle my mind from different angles you find. Time to write lines directed to point, press, and pull. You point out my flaws like a fool, pressing all the buttons I only granted you access to. Then you pull the trigger, leaving my mind disfigured. Now my hand is in this figure, and my knuckles are red. You made me blue, so I made you purple instead. And you know what? I am sorry. Sorry, conflicted and confused. Sorry because I married someone like you. Conflicted because I'm crazy for you. You are my first love, so if you want to turn tables and leave me rolling in the deep, you'll melt my heart to stone, but maybe we're better off alone.
I sleep in our bathtub. I come home from work late. I go for jogs when I'm clearly in shape. I go to the grocery store even though I don't cook. I do whatever, whenever I know you might be shook from the demons that possess you to do this. I go to protect myself from your inflictions, physical and mental, because when you beat me, the pain goes from my body to the leader of my central nervous system. I'm nervous with him. He's the monster I peek around the corner looking for, Jeepers Creepers. But I can't run because I feel like this is finders keepers. I found him when he was looking for me. This union was supposed to be forever, infinity, but he went beyond what I anticipated. This relationship took a turn not designated from the GPS of reciprocity and respect, but an old rusty map only kept by the insecure. You beat your flaws on me to be sure. that they exist. You need to see the physical to justify your mental pains. But must I suffer storms because you feel rain? I'm going insane. I felt the need to reciprocate, so I proceeded to precipitate mental wounds. Now we're in a get what you give kind of room. Closed off from the outside world. What happens in a home is between that boy and that girl. We're each other's prisoner, we see no light. So all day consists of fights, followed by apologies. We fight to make up, kiss to break up. This has been a nightmare, and I want to wake up. But I love you, so let's go at it again. This hula hoop is detrimental, but I can't possibly leave the spin.
I'm supposed to be your wall, but your slander made me thin. So I tried to hold myself up, ending down like Berlin. Don't pretend this has been a win-lose situation. I'm addicted to your love and your hateful sedation. See, there's a stranger in the bathroom tub. I hear her scratch herself as she scrubs away the pain we both have inflicted. We're addicted to the conflicts and what they've conflicted. We share the same pain depicted in unpredicted, twisted, and wicked sickness. It's quite vicious. This ain't loop is rotated, and this is getting repetitions. This is not the forever I intended. Can we fast forward this expedition? In addition to occasionally pressing pause so we can restart this coalition? Piece the missing piece that this abuse has risen? Have I made you out to be naive? You even beat me to the tree as if I was Jesus. You showcased your scars so everyone could see us. But when they saw us, they saw you as the victim. Not knowing or caring that my mom was in prison, sentenced by the stories behind the things you've previously envisioned. You hold your peace out my head as you claim to beg for peace. You chose to speak now, it's evident you never held your peace. I'm starving for true love as you threw me out to pieces. So I took a piece of what you were dishing out and made beatings turn into musical pieces. Piece by piece, we turned your pieces to pieces. Thinking our releases could release us. And I can see you around that corner peeping. Your eyes following mine like Mona Lisa's. It's like a piece of me is missing. You know what it is, but you won't press release. You'd rather call it press release to decrease what you cease to police. You'd rather avoid me like a chicken and all chicken get beat. Don't cheat, this is a test. I'm holding on to you from this ride. Be my catcher. We had to figure out what X is before we ask why. We had to figure out how to live peacefully before we can rest in peace fully. I understand, but I admit I'm a broken man. Find the pieces to my mind so that I no longer use my hand to land what I see to be sand. I know this situation is much bigger than a grain, but this gain is the only lane to subdue my pain. The other routes seem in vain, each lane ending in shame, and chains only latch on to what they can contain. The thunder you light me with only causes more rain, and I perceive this precipitation to be the demolition of our relation. No more abuse, no more agonizing brutality that uses selfish gain as an escape. No more taking jogs when you're clearly ashamed. Let's turn this agape hate to agape love, because even though you can find love in hate, you can't find hate in love.
I love you. You know that, right? If you take in any of this, I need you to hear me say that I love you, because I do. I would give almost anything to simply be with you. There is no greater love than laying down your life for someone else. Giving your life to save another is a sacrifice demanded to be felt. And for a while, I've been feeling it. A slow and agonizing death. I kept giving you pieces of me, hoping that would leave you peaceful, but they didn't. You received me in every shape and form, yet it still wasn't enough to cancel out the storm that became so routine. It rained so much with you, I started to believe that I couldn't have been good enough. I wasn't enough of what you needed. But after so many years and so much advice unheeded, I figured it out. This is not agape love. The comparison is impossible. Christ would never harm his children the way we did each other. It's improbable. We spat on each other like the soldiers did him. We nailed each other's hearts and watched as they grew paper thin. So we fell, and not like Berlin, more along the lines of the twins. Our foundation crumbled, so we stumbled and began tumbling down together. The downfall seemed unending, like we'd be falling for forever. But I refused. And in a weird kind of way, I surrendered too. I will not fall down with you and give my life up as if to this relationship it equates. I'm worth way more than the abuse and mistreatment by which I've been enslaved. I'm jumping out of the window. There's a stretcher on the ground. I can see it. It may save me, and it may not. But if it's my only way out of this, then so be it. It's going to hurt. I can tell. In fact, it may be the closest thing I feel to hell, because I love you. But I won't die the cowardly death I would inside that building filled with yous. And I'm sorry's, and we can start overs, and wishes of being intoxicated instead of sober. Although I love the way you lie, I have to go. Because love, what's love got to do with it when I end up with nothing to show? With no more of me. And baby, this is not all for self-gain. I'm hoping seeing me jump will cause you to do the same. I want to be your domino effect, you to the point where I save you from death. Even if I am saving you from me, I want to jump together to avoid our infinity.